So, as I've stated in a previous video, like, it's not over. Like, transplant is still corrupt. Transplant is still unfair. There's still racial bias. It's not just gone away just because, like, I got a transplant. There's still massive inconsistencies and just, like, flat out wrongdoing that happens on transplant. People are still getting skipped. People are still not getting the transplants that they need because of favoritism and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's not over. Like, the way transplant is supposed to work is not how transplant is working. So, like, I'm not done talking about it. It's like, oh, well, I'm so grateful and da 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 da. Like, don't get me wrong, man. I am. I'm very appreciative of CPMC in California, because everyone kept telling me that UC Davis was the one, and they played so many stupid games, and their transplant coordinator had so much power over who got a transplant, who got picked, and who didn't, who could move on to the finals, to get a transplant, that I just didn't get it. And it just got to a point where that anger boiled over, and I said something to the transplant coordinator, and they took me off the transplant list. And then, a little bit of time after that, I got a call from CPMC in San Francisco, California. Now, UC Davis is in Sacramento, California. CPMC is in San Francisco, California. And it was... I never would have anticipated that they, of all transplant centers out here in California, that they would be the one to get me a transplant. Now, there were some caveats that came along with that transplant, which I'll get into in later videos, but the reality is that despite that, with the kidney, despite whatever, happened with the kidney prior to me getting it, I did get it. And it's a good kidney, and it works fine. But, like, the kidney filters, which I've mentioned before, which I still am going to make a video about, like kidney filters and hot lists where they just pick people and skip over people, that stuff's still happening. And some of these patients don't deserve it. Now, granted, there's got to be some responsibility that patients take when it comes to being eligible for a kidney transplant. Some due diligence has to be done in order to get the transplant, right? Like, they can't just give a transplant to somebody that is not going to take care of it. But the vast majority of people that are on the transplant list are there because they want to be there and because they want the transplant. Nobody can put you on a transplant list unless you give them consent to do so. Unless you go through all the blood work and you talk to the doctors, you go through all the labs and you do all that stuff, they're not going to put you on a transplant list just because you're on dialysis. And that's a mistake that a lot of dialysis patients have when they're sitting in them chairs in that dialysis center. They don't know that they're not getting a transplant. They don't know that they're not on the transplant list because the staff doesn't tell them. And that's step one in the process of irresponsibility and not doing their due diligence. And then once you get on the list, you have to go into a whole nother circus of, like, frankly, bullshit games. You got to play the game, with them. Luckily, at CPMC, my transplant coordinator either didn't have enough stroke to do anything about it, or the doctor vetoed it. The actual surgeon that did the surgery, vetoed it. They saw a kidney that was perfect for me, right blood type, right size, everything, and that was it. They gave it to me. But there's still things wrong with transplant.